think that that goal of true brotherhood and true community is antithetical to the modern day megachurch movement. And this is coming from somebody who was a megachurch pastor, one of the biggest.
Yeah, well, megachurch movement, there's no movement. There was, a couple of hundred megachurches. There's no movement. There's 400,000 churches in America. The whole thing to me was, kind of a marketing thing. And the number of, you get down to the bottom of the ocean and you see a whale. But what's really shocking is you see the number of fish that have sucked onto the whale and are just riding around. And that whole thing, the modern megachurch movement, that's spawned by, fish that have sucked onto a big whale. There was no movement. It was an anomaly. It's always an anomaly. They were one-offs. They were inexplicable things that were reflective of culture and people's desire to experience a show rather than to experience community. And my show was very biblical, but it was still
Absolutely.
a big production. It was a big production. It's very, very high impact. What we called earth-shattering, window-rattling, life-altering church. And everything was about putting that in front of people every week. And when you really get that going, you can't order enough chairs. But it's very hard, and there's a lot of cost involved with it. And the cost of all of that did not affect me well.
I've wondered a lot about there's gives and takes in everything in life. There's give and take. And I'm wondering how quickly true community becomes one of those things that you're willing to give up in the process of the mega church. Well, anomaly, if we use your language, in the megachurch anomaly, how quickly that becomes the thing that we're willing to push to the wayside for the sake of other things that are produced. So, I mean, I don't know, but
Nothing has ever pushed. I just would tell you, Reed, I can't believe you want to know what I think about anything. So I'm blessed by that. And I'm not trying to contradict you, brother. We had a beautiful prayer time before we started here. And I consider you a dear brother in the Lord. So I'm not trying to contradict you.
Go for it. Contradict.
That the mega church movement or anomaly or whatever we want to call it, the problem was less. I don't know what was going on in all the individual churches, and I'm not here to judge anyone. I can just tell you that a big part of the problem was the number of people that were aspiring to it, and the churches putting on conferences and coming and principalizing it all and saying, if you do these are the things we did, and you can learn how to do them, and the expectation of the results and the jealousy of those who achieve it, and the fact that they then become targets and the resentment that so many pastors feel. And I'm going to tell you, I love pastors. I've always loved pastors. And I love the pastor of a church of 60 people as much as a pastor of a church of 600 people or 6,000 people. And I think that there's anything, part of the problem with the whole leadership focus was it was a technique-based thing that seemed to communicate to guys, look, your technique's bad, or your skill set's not a good match, or there's something wrong with you, or you would be seeing these same results. God's not unwilling, and on and on and on. And I think that's so detrimental. And I think with social media and what other people were doing and it really being in their face, I think that there's just a ton of resentment out there. And the way that pastors who achieved some level, a lot of them now, I'm sure you've heard about what happened at Watermark Church, and of course Mars Hill and Harvest, and I could go on with a lot of them. The presenting failure on the part of the pastor, and how true or false that is. Put all that aside. The fact is that some pretty big ministries have been torn to shreds by people who are crusading against what they believe they see, and so the whole thing to me is pretty rancid from top to bottom.
You can catch brand new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Huberman every Monday, and weekly bonus episodes to keep you thinking throughout the week. But you have to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like this video and share it with friends.